Hey everybody! How
There's
y'all
a
doing?
train.
Welcome to Meta Monday.
We still get the train even though we're all at home? How is that fair?
Because it's not Metaverse without an effing train.
I guess.
Welcome to Masters of the Metaverse, everybody. I hope you're doing all right. It is good to see all of you in our, respective different areas, maintaining safe social distancing like we're supposed to.
I could literally almost reach Maggie from here.
Yeah, but you two live together, so that's still safe social distancing.
Also, I that was really just for her. I just want her to know that anytime I want.
Figures, makes sense. But anyway, welcome to Meta Monday, guys. We're really glad you could join us. You know, it's a little different than normal because, well, we can't be in studio. We really can't go anywhere. I mean, we theoretically could, but it would not be a good idea. It is not healthy or good for our community overall to do so. So here we are at our houses, still trying to do our best to bring you something at least mildly entertaining. We do have a store today. It's a little bit limited, but feel free to contribute to our lovely store so you can influence things and change the game. We got some re-roll stuff. We got some meta surges, and if you just want to say hi, you can just put a shout out in. We'll say hi back. I promise. It is, of course, really good to see everybody. I hope you all got to catch our previous Metaverse episodes.
Exciting season finale.
Yeah, we had a fairly exciting season finale. That was kind of fun. You want to take a minute and talk about that, Christian?
Oh, I didn't want to, but I will. I'm more than happy to. It was very hectic for me because I played both the characters that I've been playing at the same time, and there was just so much going on that I don't think I can handle both sides of it, honestly.
I understand that.
The quarantine has affected my ability to speak for long periods of time. That's what I'm blaming it on.
Okay.
I'm shy. That's not it.
That's not a thing.
I know.
So, no real opinions on the finale?
It took a lot out of me. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. But I couldn't give you a play-by-play of it right now.
Oh no. Okay. Don't need a play-by-play.
But everything happened. The invasion got ended. There was duels. There was exploding moons, plans within plans, possible heel turns. It had everything. Go back and check it out.
It was pretty good. I think I'm gonna toot my own horn on that one. It wasn't half bad.
It wasn't half bad at all.
Not half bad. Let's see if we can do something fun for him today. So we're going to give you guys something, we'll call it Metaverse adjacent today. We're going to give you a story from the Weird West. Some of you might be familiar with the Weird West. If you're not familiar with the Weird West, let's hear, I want to hear Maggie's take on the Weird West. Can you describe the Weird West in a sentence to our viewers? Just one sentence.
The Weird West is where everything you know to exists, but with a twist.
That's a good version.
Instant sentence off the top of my head.
This is some Weird West adjacent. We're going to be dealing with the Louisiana Territory.
Ooh.
Now, some of you are familiar with King Teddy from previous stories and adventures. Yes, King Teddy.
Oh, yes,
King
he has
Teddy,
showed up.
The king of Yosemite. He's managed to establish himself as quite the benevolent ruler. He's even annexed free Texas. That was a voluntary annexation for anyone who's paying careful attention. Samuel Langford Clemens very happily turned over the ruling reins. He was not, however, happy with getting the title of Baron out of the deal.
Oh.
He was really hoping to withdraw from the role of leadership and pass those reins on to someone else. But Teddy's not going to let him off the hook just yet. Now, there's a lot of... Go ahead, Maggie.
I'll say, who did he want to pass the power to?
King Teddy. He
Oh,
wants
okay.
to be. Samuel Langford Clemens would love nothing more than to be done with rulership and perhaps live on a riverboat and write.
And smoke cigars and drink himself to death. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is precisely how he would like to spend the rest of his life, which
But he
is
can't because of
forever.
how he puts it, all the goddamn werewolves.
Yes, the Southwest is a troubled place. But King Teddy has been able to curtail a lot of the danger. In addition, he's made some other wonderful allies. Rutherford B. Hayes, who is the territorial governor of the Louisiana Territory, is one of King Teddy's allies and a buffer between the Kingdom of Yosemite and the holdouts on the East Coast, who at one point were allied with Edison and the like. They've mostly descended into neo-feudalism, but they're still around. They haven't gone away. So Louisiana sort of is a middle ground, combining the new concepts of the East Coast and the wonderful technology and all of the tall tales and myths and great heroic epics of the West from the Kingdom of Yosemite. Now, our particular characters are investigators sent by King Teddy of Yosemite to help his friend, Governor Rutherford B. Hayes, who has had some series of mysterious murders in New Orleans.
Ooh.
Ooh,
That's right.
Murder.
I blame vampires.
Bodies found with no blood in them.
I called it before you said it.
You did, I guess. Maybe.
So
Maybe.
before we get into our story of these bodies in New Orleans,
I doubt it.
let's go ahead and start by introducing the two characters who will be being played today by Maggie Doyle and Christian Doyle. I'm going to start with Maggie. Go right ahead. You want to tell us who you're playing and a little bit about her?
Well, I do. My name is Mary Elizabeth Pryor, and I am a detective, but most importantly, I follow and learn about the occult. And not only do I learn about it, I am an expert on the occult. Because there is always an underlying reason that something has happened, and nothing is black and white. There's all kinds of things in this world that sneak in. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it. And Christian, you want to tell us about who you're playing?
Yes, I am Amos W. Rockefeller. Yes, that Rockefeller. Forensic detective. I don't really subscribe to necessarily what the people in my line of work call supernatural hooey. I'm not a fan of mumbo jumbo. And I don't like malarkey. What I do like is cold, hard facts. And I'm a man of science, and I think any crime can be solved using simple application of the brain, because everything can be explained by science, including medicine.
And there you are. Our two investigators have arrived in the city of New Orleans. Now, you have been sent here by King Teddy, and while you work for King Teddy in the Kingdom of Yosemite and are sanctioned by that government, Louisiana Territory is its own separate infrastructure, its own separate government, and you're more like advisors or perhaps observers. You're there to assist in things. You have no official authority beyond being invited by the governor himself.
No deputization in order to enforce the law?
No, you're solely there to be an assistant in these investigations.
I'm sorry, did you say assistant?
Well, clearly the local police have had trouble solving this matter, so it's going to fall to someone with a little more experience to perhaps point them in the right direction, maybe give them a hand finding things.
Sure. That explains why I'm here, but why the witch?
I am not a witch.
Really? That's not a pentagram necklace around your neck, and you don't have a bunch of baubles that I can only assume came from birds' nests? hanging about your person.
Oh, so from my appearance, you're just making an assumption about me.
You're also carrying a bag of salt, wearing 3 different kinds of religious symbol, and there appears to be at least 1 wooden stake sticking out of your bag.
Indeed, there is. Those are forms of protection, sir.
From?
Well, ghosts, werewolves, vampires, the like.
And, malarkey, perhaps?
I'm sorry, but I don't believe there is a creature named Malaki.
Oh, there is. And he comes from Yosemite.
Are you speaking ill of King Teddy?
Certainly not. I am a loyal follower of King Teddy. I just know that they subscribe to a lot of mumbo jumbo and various types of poppycock out in that region of the country.
You know, you are making up a lot of words to try to insult me right now.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm a Yale man, so I just know those words, whereas you are more of a, Southern type.
Right, you've had your nose in a book for years and think you know everything because of what someone wrote down, most likely a man, whereas I've had experience in the field, sir, and I know exactly what I'm doing.
Right, but the books I read are typeset very, very carefully, not written in your great auntie's hillbilly scrawl.
I see. So my question is, why are you here?
Because I'm a man of science, and they requested my presence for this very endeavor because, frankly, I'm the best suited for it. I can cut right through hooey, poppycock, and malarkey using the power of science, scientific fact, scientific principle, and, other scientific things.
Well, so as much as I have enjoyed having this conversation...
But perhaps you could throw it, maybe you could throw a chicken foot and some salt at it and see what happens, too. As it appears that we are partnered. So.
Indeed, we're partnered assistants to lend a hand and point the way. Now, I don't know about you, sir, but I plan on taking the lead here, and they can follow.
You mean the police? Oh, I firmly 100% believe that you are better suited to lead this investigation than any of the New Orleans Police Department. As you can see, they are predominantly Irish.
That was a backhanded compliment, sir.
This is a fact. In fact, the territorial and city police have no leads. Even Marshal Brady of the territorial police has yet to have a single lead in this investigation.
Well, is there any evidence of any kind other than bodies being drained of blood?
Well, by the time you arrive, 4 of the bodies have already been either cremated or disposed of, but they do have information on them.
I'm sorry. They took the evidence and cremated it.
Well, it's been nearly a month since these killings started.
That's a fancy word for burning the bodies, by the way.
I know what it means, sir. I'm just saying when you have evidence, you never just get rid of it. It's never over. You got to keep going back to it. You got to keep looking at it. There's always a clue. There's always something deeper. And they just cremated it. What? So you said we have 1 body.
Oh my God!
I'm going to take a moment.
I'm angry for exactly the same reason.
The store didn't come through on audio, so I'm going to have thanks, Merc, for the $10 for a hashtag metasearch. Is this mansplaining the 1860s edition? It sure feels like it.
Is this what, the 1860s edition?
Mansplaining the 1860s edition? It sure feels like it.
Indeed, it does.
Hashtag metasearch is this mansplaining the 1860s edition. It sure feels like
Killing
it.
Started almost a month ago. Modern refrigeration isn't a thing, so the keeping of bodies isn't something they can really do long term, but they still do have 2 of them.
Aren't there giant ice cubes they can set them on?
Now, they do have some following information for you of the 6 bodies. These are listed in order of discovery. So I'll start with the first body that they found. You are given access to these case notes, but it is very clear that Marshal Brady and the Louisiana police are not very welcoming of your interference in their investigation. If it were not for the governor himself requesting you be here, it seems they would probably not help you at all. The first body...
But since the governor did ask for us, they do have to help us, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
I make sure to ask the chief that very question.
The answer is most certainly a yes. All right, on Monday, April the 3rd, the first body was discovered. It was a young adult male, name unknown, likely a street urchin. The body was located in an alley in the French Quarter. There were no witnesses. The body was discovered by a passing patrolling officer. It has since been cremated. On Thursday...
There's nothing else? There's no description of his wounds? No, nothing?
We'll get to that. All of them have something in common that I will get to. Thursday, April the 6th, the second body was discovered. These have all been bloodless corpses, for the record. I will tell you that much at the start before we get to the end of it. This one was an elderly male by the name of Phineas McConnell. He is a known stable hand and horse groomer in New Orleans. Worked at the Clover Stables. His body was discovered behind the Ragdoll Saloon on Bourbon Street. The body has been buried according to the family's wishes.
I'm digging that up.
On Sunday, April the 9th, a female child was discovered. Name unknown, likely another street urchin. She was found floating near a loading pier at the port. Body was cremated. The 4th was found on Tuesday, April the 12th. Patrick Flanagan, a dock worker. He was also a Tunstall Union organizer. He was found in his home. Signs of a struggle. The home was ransacked. The burial was paid for by John Tunstall.
John Tunstall?
Yes, head of the Tunstall Union.
Uh-huh.
Friday, April the 15th. This was the 5th body and one that they do have on hand that was found. This is one you will be able to physically examine. Michael O'Kelly, occupation unknown. Found in an alley off of Bourbon Street. His body is in the morgue awaiting burial. And the most recent, found on Monday, April the 18th, was Sean Dearborn, a prison guard at New Orleans Parish Prison. He was found on the grounds in the exterior of the stables. He's awaiting family to pick up his remains at the morgue.
So whatever is attacked every 3 days. As we've got the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, the 12th.
The last 2 bodies are available for viewing at the morgue.
Well,
we should go there right now.
I agree. Oh wait, sorry, James. What day is it today?
Why, today happens to be somewhere in my notes here. Thursday, April the 21st.
Right. So someone's gonna die today.
That would fit with the pattern.
Were these bodies all found at the same time? Were they all found in the morning? Were they all found in the evening? Has it been a spread of
point in the day?
All right, so it's not like at the evening time, like a feeding time, and then they. All right, but it's every 3 days. Yeah, I agree with my partner. If we could go to the morgue.
What was that word you used?
I'd like to go to the morgue, please.
Thanks.
Does that mean you're my partner?
So I have been nothing but cordial to you, and you have done nothing but insult me.
Lovely.
That is not true. I mean, I thought you'd be able to
at the morgue.
read the respect coming off of my aura.
Insulted.
That's not a thing? It's not, is it?
Mm-mm.
No such thing as auras.
Oh, no, auras exist. But we have more important matters on hand, as I think my explaining in order to you would fall upon deaf ears as you continually make fun of what I follow and believe in, and have seen to be true. Just like your science, you have followed, believe in it, and see it to be true. I have not denied science at any time in our conversation, but you have continued to deny the occult.
No, I don't deny the occult. The occult very much exists. I'm aware that there are lycanthropes and vampire-like creatures and all manner of beasts out there, but I believe that those are due to diseases, viruses, bacteria, not ancient blood curses or other malarkey.
I see. Let's go to the morgue, shall we?
You visit the morgue. There are 2 bodies are available for viewing there. Michael O'Kelly and Sean Dearborn. Which body would you like to examine first?
The O'Kelly boy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you're going to use to examine him.
Science! Medicine!
All right.
Wait.
Can I get him?
Forensics. I guess they're both the same. Forensics or medicine. One of the two.
And what about yourself, Mary?
It has been 5? I assume maybe 5.5, possibly 6 full days since his body was brought in.
Yes.
It's going to be difficult, but I would like to see if any magic was used. But I understand that the difficulty level will be raised because of the time that has passed.
Significantly so. That will require some focus on your part.
No problem. And we are just rolling 10s, correct?
Yes, you'll be on 10s.
All right, and we have.
That's what we have.
We've got a meta surge and a reroll. Oh no, we just have we have both.
I beat mine by 4.
By 4.
Well, I don't think a 16 is going to cut it.
You cannot find any signs.
Oh no, that's not a 16. I'm an idiot. That's a 7.
A 7? Now, what is your focus score?
16, so I beat it by quite a bit.
But it has been 5 days on that, or 5.5 days on that one. On the first body.
True, so I don't know what my number would be now, but I did roll, I got a 7, which is pretty good.
It's penalized by 2 for every day beyond the first, so you're going to be at a total of 17 on that roll.
Oh.
Metasurge would get you the win on that, though.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, Metasurge.
Thank you for the Metasurge.
Thank you, chat. You can detect the slightest traces on his body, and it's concentrated in the areas that you discover small wounds on him. And it's about that time that your compatriot Amos discovers that through his medicine that the body has signs of defensive wounds, as though he was involved in some form of a struggle.
Can you describe the wounds to us, please?
Oh.
They're almost like claw marks.
So they look more like scratches rather than like puncture.
Yes, very much so, though the body does have a distinctive puncture wound. A single puncture wound to the carotid artery.
So it's a one-tooth vampire.
It is single puncture wound, correct.
James, I would like to use my occult to look at the actual claw marks. I would assume that I would be able to tell if they were human or not claw marks.
Give me an occult roll. See what you figure out.
Human claws?
Well, I mean, very sharp, long nails, or if it looks more like a beast.
And while she makes an occult roll, will you give me a forensics roll since you have now done medicine?
Yeah.
I beat my occult by 4.
By 4, all right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a 6. So I beat it by 10.
Oh, most excellent. We will start with Mary. Mary, you are certain these were inflicted by hand. You're not sure if they were necessarily claws, but perhaps exceptionally strong fingers that tore through the flesh.
Right. Okay, so definitely human.
Not a wild animal. Most certainly not a wild animal.
Excellent.
For yourself, Amos, you discover that there are strange outlines upon his ankles as though he was clearly suspended at some point, and judging by the wound on his neck, he was suspended before he was injured in his carotid artery.
Ah, he was bled like an animal.
Hung him upside down. That is most correct. And in addition, while doing this examination, you notice that he has an empty boot knife sheath. He clearly drew his blade at some point and used it.
Or it fell out of his boot knife sheath while he was suspended from his ankles.
Mosquitoes. This is the worst possible timeline.
Defensive wounds.
Does the boot knife sheath have a? I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
No knife was discovered at the scene where he was found, which was his home.
So does the boot knife sheath have a tether or a thong on it?
Oh, it does have a tether thong, and I'm sorry, he was discovered in the alley, not his home. That was the second individual discovered in his home.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
So
that is your examination of the first body.
All right.
That is the least fresh, and it is quite telling that it is the least fresh.
Okay, well, you could, that can go.
It looks like we got another tip. I still can't hear them. We could before.
Oh, let me see. Thanks, Mark, for the $5. Reroll. Oh, God, mosquitoes. This is the worst possible timeline.
Mansquitoes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we don't have to. Okay. All right, on to the second body. The body of Sean Dearborn.
Actually, I have a question before we move on, James. You said that I did sense magic of some kind.
Traces around the wound sites from those finger wounds.
Excellent. What kind of magic did I sense? Was this of a spell nature? Was this of like
it was too far back for you to tell for sure, but there was definitely some form of magic used. Okay. Something, either whatever was used to inflict the wounds was unnatural, or at some point something unnatural was done to the wounds. You couldn't be entirely certain, but there was certainly something unnatural about those markings.
All right.
The body of Sean Dearborn is next. This is much fresher. It is only 3 days old.
Oh, good. I'll start with medicine again.
I'll start with sensing magic.
Damn, 5 that time. I'm rolling okay.
So, James, if it's 3 days, do you want me to add 6 to my roll?
Yes.
Then I got it dead on. No, you don't have to, Christian.
No, hers is penalized by the length of time passing. Yours is not.
All right.
So in that particular body, you find not the single slightest trace of magic. None at all. Now, Amos, you find he was clearly struck on the back of the head before he was hung upside down and drained, much like the other one.
Oh, look at that. So same type of wound, except he was definitely, there was no struggle. He just got bonked and...
You would guess a blunt object or blunt instrument of some sort was used to hit him in the back of the head.
But that's not what killed him. It just...
No. He bled to death.
Groovy. All right. Are their faces cleaned afterwards?
Yes.
When they're found?
Yes.
So they're found drained, but also cleaned?
Yes. Very much so. In addition, give me a forensics roll on that last one as well.
Made it by 2.
Between the last one and this one, you have also discovered that in the case of both bodies, they were moved post-mortem.
What were removed post-mortem?
They were moved post-mortem.
They were moved to the locations in which they were found. Correct?
Yes.
Very much
so. While this one was found in his home, he did not die there, and the man who was found in the alley could not possibly have been suspended from anything in the alley. So,
James, I'm not sure if you want me to do occult notice or investigation, but I would like to search the bodies for any kind of symbol or sign or tattoo or marking.
Give me investigation for that one.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I don't see you now.
Yes. Did Christian lose his video?
I don't think I'm in the video anymore either.
Oh. Is it just...
Oh, and we're all back.
We're all back. Hooray, technology.
I'm here.
It was a vanishing.
It was. I'm going to blame that technological glitch on this horrible roll that I just made.
Which was what?
Yeah, I rolled a 15 and my investigation is 12, so...
Yep, you don't return up any clues on the bodies of any kind of symbols or markings or anything in particular.
All right. I'd like to go back to the... Are we just talking to the police chief? Is there a head detective? Is there any person who looks like they have...
Territorial Marshal Brady is currently in charge of the investigation.
Right, all right. Brady?
Brady has been less than helpful. He was the one that pointed you in the direction of bodies and then summarily dismissed you.
Right, now I'd like to go talk to him.
He seems to be out of the office. Or at least that's what the clerk tells you.
I'd like to walk by the clock and go find him. There's got to be a sign on a door.
You truck you up to a flight of stairs to a fairly crowded police room where several individuals give you dirty looks. And there clearly is no Marshal Brady in the office at this point.
Is there like a gathering room or like a main area for all the officers who aren't in charge? I assume like the guys who are higher up maybe have their own office, but then is there like more of a...
Not so much. It's more of an open area on the second floor where the higher officers tend to be at. Well, there are only a couple of them there presently, and they're the ones that give you dirty looks as you approach.
All right. It seems that Brady has left the building, which is extremely helpful during an investigation. What I need to know from any of you is if any of you have any leads of any kind, have done any investigation on any connections between our victims, anything at all.
I'm sorry, man, the marshal hasn't authorized us to speak to you about the details of the case.
Oh, he hasn't. Well, you know what? In that case, I'm just going to take all the evidence back with me. I'm going to take the bodies. I'm going to remove them.
I'm sorry, man. We can't let you do that.
Yes, it would interfere with them already having moved them.
Right, that's what I was figuring, because they already messed up the case and did such a bad job that they had to call in people to come help them.
Mary, you have to expect that with these country bumpkin police departments that they just don't have the know-how to get this type of police work done.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, why would they? They have no experience. They clearly only have half a brain between all four of them.
Are you finished, ma'am?
Are you quite finished there? Because they don't get it.
Right, they don't get it. Okay. Right.
We'll tell the marshal that you came by when he gets back in.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, what's he doing? He's going on a long lunch or something?
Why are you still talking to those idiots?
Our stream just changed to Mark.
But we're all still here. We just got to...
Okay,
good. You can just drag down. You'll be able to see each other again, I believe.
I found you.
Excellent.
There. It just sort of reset itself, that's all.
And why wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Well, since none of you men are useful in any capacity, I believe I will go with this gentleman here who does have a whole brain. And we'll continue the investigation
not
and
quite
solve it.
done in here yet, actually.
Oh, absolutely. So what would you like to do?
I want to take another look at those ankles.
All right, you go back to the morgue?
Both victims. Yeah, I didn't know we had left the morgue yet. And Maggie just started talking to the cop.
You could still be in there.
If that's okay, because...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still there. Were they tied up using the same device when they were suspended?
Give me a forensics roll.
That is an 11. So I beat it by 5.
You are about 90% certain that if it wasn't the same device, it wasn't two devices that are in fact the same in construction.
All right. So, and was it rope? Was it chain? Was it cord? Was it
rope? Probably some kind of a pulley, judging by the way that the weight distribution has made the imprintation upon their legs.
And let's figure out what kind of places are going to have that type of pulley. Investigation?
Correct.
I'm dead on.
Unfortunately, being as New Orleans is a port city, you would think that there's probably at least a dozen places someone could get pulleys and ropes of that nature. It's an exceptionally common item.
I was hoping to narrow things down that way, location-wise. But they probably died at the same spot, is what I'm thinking.
It is a distinct possibility. Now, you didn't get into New Orleans until well after noon, so it is settling into evening by now.
So one was discovered in the alley in the French Quarter. One was behind a saloon. The saloon was next to Bourbon Street?
On Bourbon Street.
On Bourbon Street. There's another body that was also found on Bourbon Street.
Correct. Found in an alley.
Michael O'Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Were those two Bourbon Street findings close to each other or separate? Does that make sense?
About 6 blocks from each other.
Okay. She was floating on the pier.
Correct.
Well, what would you like to do, sir? Would you like to perhaps go to an area for some food and to talk things over?
As part of his welcome to you, the governor has already arranged for hotels at the finest hotel in New Orleans for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go check in. I'm not quite ready to eat after the autopsy and all.
Weak stomach?
No, germs are spread through. You know what? You wouldn't understand.
And James, nothing had happened like this before Monday, April 3rd.
No, that is the first bloodless corpse that had turned up. Right. I mean, there haven't been murders in New Orleans, but...
Right, but this isn't like, 10 years ago.
No.
When the moon was full.
This is a new thing.
Okay.
This is a very, very new thing.
Well, I'm fine to go with you to check into our hotel.
Good. That's where I'm going then.
I assume we have separate rooms?
Oh, absolutely. Great.
I trick mine out. First thing I do, warding spells. I lay salt by the doors and wind. It's like a regimen, right? I don't even have to think about it. I walk in the door and I just set the room up.
Excellent. So you're gone for about an hour while Amos do the once over of your room and then are back downstairs.
Yeah, just enough time to inflate my life-size Arthur Conan Doyle body pillow.
And then I assume you're back downstairs, perhaps enjoying a brandy of some such nature.
Yes, brandy sounds lovely. Don't mind if I do.
It is a solid hour before Mary joins you downstairs. When she joins you, she smells of all sorts of herbs and salts and strange incenses and other things. And a variety of odors accompanying her.
Yes.
I said nothing. I said nothing. My eyes just watered slightly and my mouth went dry.
And I will keep that.
But I said nothing.
Your face said quite a bit, sir.
Oh, you read faces too and palms? That's amazing.
Anyone can read a person's face.
Oh, so not really all that impressive then. Great.
Would you prefer to eat alone, sir? I feel like
yes,
I'm going.
Thank you.
Then I will depart, and I will walk away from him, and I will get a separate table.
Excellent. Sitting by yourselves in comfortable. Whoa! Everything changed again.
Oh, hey, I can see Chad again.
I don't fear change.
This is I'm gonna fix it for 1 second here. There we go. And now you're all back. Yeah. Everything likes to jump out of the screen every so often for me.
Yeah,
but now I see you.
Yeah.
And hey, I can see Chad again now too.
Yeah, that's great. We can see Chad again.
All right. So you're an hour and a half in. You're finally getting comfortable enough. You've cleaned up so you can have a meal, Amos, and you've gotten settled in, had a glass of wine, and are beginning to have a meal yourself. And about a half dozen men enter the hotel and get rooms for the upstairs. They are clearly not dressed as fine as most individuals would be who could afford to stay at a hotel of this caliber. And judging by what you overhear as they check in, someone else has already reserved rooms for them.
Oh, they're muscle.
Can I get notice checks from either of you, please? Or investigation also work.
My notice is better. I beat my notice by 4.
So did I.
I also rolled a 10.
We should be married.
Okay.
Judging by the look of them and glancing at the pins on their lapels, you are 99% certain that they are Pinkerton Detective Agency agents.
I'm so sorry. Describe to me where Pinkerton is.
Pinkertons are, I'll let Christian field this one.
They're,
is like the TV show?
Probably not.
They're cops, sort of. They're just private. They're private security, essentially. They investigate and punish crimes independently of any actual law enforcement. They're always the bad guys in Westerns.
Excellent. James, have they all gone up to their room, or have some of them stayed down?
They have all, in fact, gone up to their rooms. They checked in and immediately went upstairs.
I'd like to go up to the front desk. I assume there's a front desk.
Absolutely.
Who is behind the counter?
He's the same person that checked you in. You didn't catch your name, but an affable older man. Well, what can I do for you, miss?
Hello, sir. I was wondering, that large group of gentlemen, they seem to have come out of nowhere. And, I don't know if you know, sir, but I am part of an investigation. It's very secretive and very important. And I wanted you to know
So let me tell you all about it.
Shush! So, it just seems odd that a group of Pinkertons would arrive. I'm just wondering if you happen to know who placed that reservation, because you would be helping a national inquiry. In fact, you might be the break in the case. You could help us solve the whole thing.
Well, they had a reservation. I don't usually give out information like that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sure you don't, sir, but
privacy is very important.
it is, I admire you and I admire that. However, I mean, what's little old me gonna do? I'm not even from here. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a woman. I mean, couldn't you just
please?
The I'm just a woman doesn't really work as much in the Weird West as it does.
You don't know
life.
It could work. I'm rolling something. It's an 11. You wanted me to roll persuasion?
Yes.
Beat it by 1.
Well, the Pinkerton detectives, miss. Pinkerton detectives. Their reservation was set up by a James Dolan.
James Dolan?
Yes, James Dolan, the house.
Wasn't he one of those monkeys?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Talking to a waiter over at my table. I'm so far away right now.
Thank you so much. So now, also, quick question. Do you provide room service?
Upon request.
Excellent. How much is a bottle of whiskey?
Well, it's $6, miss. $6.
Would you please send a bottle of whiskey up to the Pinkertons' room? With my regards.
Of course, of course.
Thank you so much. And I will pay him $6. I'll write a note that says, it'll say, welcome to town. Meet me in the bar for some more.
All right. Nice. What about yourself, Amos?
I'm still waiting for some service at my table.
You've already come service. You have a steak waiting for you.
Oh, good. I enjoy steak. Then, of course, something to drink, nothing too fruity. And I'm going to think about what I saw. Really mull it over. Figure out where I should visit in the morning. Right now, I'm thinking about the alley that we're very nearby and the house where we found that man. To figure out where they were dragged from, because they were killed in the same spot.
I'd like to notice that Amos is just intently thinking. He's clearly
it's
turning some
very
wheels.
Noticeable that Amos is lost in thought.
So I'd like to come up from behind and then just lean over really fast in his ear and be like, I've sent the Pinkertons a bottle of whiskey so that they can get drunk and we can question them so that we might get more information on the case, and you're more than welcome to join me.
Sorry, I can't understand you through that accent. Something about Pinkertons and
you heard me. You're just trying to
I
insult.
really didn't. You talked so bloody fast.
Oh, I've sent a bottle of whiskey up to the Pinkertons in hopes that they will get drunk and we can question them to learn more information, or to learn what they might know about this case that we don't.
Why in God's name would we want to talk to Pinkertons?
Well, they were clearly hired, not by King Teddy, but by someone else who was in part of this investigation. Now,
the only thing they've clearly done is check into a hotel and go immediately to their rooms.
Do you ever have a hunch? You ever have like a feeling in your gut? Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, you mean do I follow pretend facts? No, I don't do that. Sorry.
So you've never been somewhere with your microscope and thinking, if I just added maybe this instead of that, maybe something would make a difference. You never had that thought, that feeling before, where you change the solution or try a different method or think, maybe that's the problem. You don't really know why you think that thought, but for some reason you're like, ooh, hey, what about that?
Well, now that you mention it, no, that has never happened. Also, I'm a little concerned that you see a microscope anywhere near me, considering they are very large instruments, and I mean, I'd be at least leaning on it or something.
Right, no, I clearly don't see one here, so I meant back in the... Are you the most boring person?
I don't know what you mean by boring. I don't think so. Other people find me quite exciting.
Mm. All right, well, if you would like to sit here in your thoughts by yourself and not talk to me, the person you're supposed to work with, you can do that. But I am going to keep bothering you, and I am going to keep trying to do this investigation with you.
Well, then you can sit down if you'd like.
Well, thank you.
I thought you were respecting my wishes to eat alone, but this is fine also. Can I order you some dinner?
That would be lovely.
I can pay for this conversation twice?
Sir, I can pay for myself, thank you very much.
Well, it can't possibly be that much, so I believe you. So, right. What did you learn, and why do we have to talk to Pinkertons? Please explain it to me clearly.
We don't have to talk to Pinkertons.
But
it was
we're doing...
just... No, we don't have to. It's just an option available. If I have a hunch, or as you might call it, gut malarkey, to
Oh no, I've had the gut malarkey. That's no joke.
I just think it's odd that a group of Pinkerton detectives would arrive. They could be working to find the culprit before we do. They could be working with the culprit and trying to cover something up. They could be here to help the culprit. It is the third day, and someone is expected to die, as the pattern shows.
So you think the Pinkertons may have been hired by the murderer to cover up their murder?
I don't know. I'm not saying no to any options here. And I was just thinking if we wanted to talk to them or get information.
I feel like we should cut that option right out, though.
You do?
Yes, I don't think that the Pinkertons have been hired to come to New Orleans to cover up a mass murderer. No.
All right.
That is gut malarkey.
You do have some experience with the Pinkertons, Amos. Your uncle regularly employs them.
Yes, I've had some dealings with Pinkertons. They're not normally hired to cover up murders unless they themselves have committed them.
And there's no chance that they committed any of these?
That is not the type of work they do.
All right.
They shoot you, usually in the back.
Mm.
At least according to the cowboy stories.
Can you give me an investigation roll, please, Mary, and see what you know about Pinkertons?
Sure thing. That is a 17. I failed my investigation roll.
You've heard weird railroad stories, but they can't be true.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I did happen...
Coincide with what Amos says, less detective, more hired thug.
Right. But, again, hired thug. You'd be hired for anything for the right amount of money.
Possibly.
But the agency can't.
True. Good point. I did find out that they were their rooms were reserved by James Dolan.
Dolan.
Dolan. However, of all the other names...
let's find out who that is. Then you don't have to talk to the Pinkertons.
Indeed, I was just sharing the new information with you. You don't need to...
Oh, and just having that much information, I came up with a better plan.
Clearly, the plan was to go find out who he was. I just didn't want to go off and run and do it without you.
Oh, thank you. We can run off and do that. Or if he's from here, we could just ask around town.
Indeed, we could.
You look surprised that I knew that information.
I'm not surprised. I didn't mean run off. Clearly, we can ask people around. That's a good name. I think we should also find out about John Tunstall, who paid for the funeral of Patrick, who was the dock worker and part of the
John Tunstall runs a union here in town. He's originally from New Mexico territory. He moved here after the Second Civil War and started a labor union.
Indeed,
He's well liked by his employees, although he runs a tight ship.
Indeed, but he might have more information on Patrick and who Patrick was and things that we can learn about, maybe things Patrick might have been involved in.
What is the common thread between the victims so far, other than 3 days' time?
Well, that one's a little trickier. We have two street urchins, a boy and a girl. We have an elderly male. We've got the dock worker. And then we saw, with the two, we saw Michael O'Kelly and Sean Dearborn. One works at a prison. Two of them were found on Bourbon Street. One was found in a pier. One was found in an alley in the French Quarter. The linking threads, I will say, are not obvious upon first glance.
Investigation roll, please.
Low-income targets of opportunity as opposed to...
That's true.
11.
9.
You both find it incredibly odd that no one had an occupation for Michael O'Kelly. They knew who he was. He was known in town, and a residence in town, but nobody said what his job was.
Oh, he was a muscle man, right?
How do you know that?
Well, he's the only one that had any type of a struggle. His boot knife had been removed.
Oh, no, he was not the one who had the struggle. Patrick, the union worker, was the struggle one.
Michael O'Kelly had the signs of the struggle. Defensive wounds.
The signs. I see. Not the one in his house. I'm sorry. That was my bad.
No, Patrick had signs of a struggle in his home, but not on the... There was no body for you to see for Patrick.
Right.
So, no, in his case. But there were signs of a struggle in his home. But yeah, Michael O'Kelly clearly fought before he died.
Do you think he was muscle?
No listed job.
Probably a union tough for Tunstall. Thug work. I mean, he looked mean.
He did look mean.
Aside from the no blood and, the big puncture wound. It must have been so sad.
Maybe we should go... I feel like it might be a little late to engage in conversation with some of these people.
Oh, but it's the perfect time to engage in conversation with some of these others.
Indeed. Who would you like to see first?
Well, I want to see that alley.
Bourbon Street one or the French Quarter one?
Bourbon Street's in the French Quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so James, does that mean all three of them were found on Bourbon Street, or?
Well, Bourbon Street is in the French Quarter. It is not the French Quarter.
Okay, so when you said an alley in the French Quarter, it was a different one. Okay.
Yes, not off of Bourbon Street, which is a very famous road within.
Yeah.
And all these people live around here? They seem to, right?
Most of them, they don't know about the urchins, but the others are residents.
The urchins, you can assume, frequent the quarter for the money.
Mm-hmm.
This is the touristy area, right?
Indeed.
As much as
I bet we could talk to another street urchin.
This is where they're discovering jazz and what have you.
This is a fact.
Now, I know this is just another one of my hunches, but it seems odd that the two street urchins were taken. They just seem, if you were a street urchin, there's a certain set of skills and smarts that go along with that. I wonder if they were offered something or persuaded in some way.
They were small. They were probably just conked on the head like Dearborn and taken.
Right, and we have no way to know if that's true because they burn the
No
bodies.
bodies.
All right, well, who
But
do you want to talk to?
I'm guessing the usual MO is the knock on the head, catching the victim unawares, and then they wake up somewhere, upside down, hanging from their ankles. I want to walk the docks.
All right.
All right.
You walk the docks. They're pretty deserted this time of night, but there is never a time when ships aren't pulling in to the docks here. It is quite possibly the busiest port in the country.
Yeah.
With the descent of most of the East Coast into a neo-feudalism, it is one of the only ports where regular safe passage can be had and where they can expect a more standardized form of taxes and tariffs for imports rather than whatever the current lord has decided. So there is a tremendous amount of ship traffic. And even now, there are still some activities and warehouses functioning, offloading ships and individuals working.
All right. Yeah, so I'm just trying to walk the docks and keep an eye out for anything that might look familiar, like the type of pulley that was used, the rope, like searching for that exact.
You spend a solid hour walking through that area and you identify at least a dozen pulleys that could theoretically be used for it. And you discount several types of sailing rope, but there are other ropes in the areas that would possibly fit the profile, but most definitely not ship's rope. Much too big.
But maybe like the rigging rope that they use in the warehouses.
That would definitely be a match.
Do you want to try to get into a warehouse?
No. Not up to breaking and entering yet, since I don't even have an idea of a suspect. Do we know who runs the underworld in this town?
Not particularly.
No.
It depends on who you ask.
Well, I'm not going to ask the police.
Are there any street urchins about?
If you have asked the local police, they insist that John Tunstall is the local underworld figure.
They probably aren't wrong in a lot of ways.
Are there any urchins about? Pickpocketing or begging?
Not at the docks. There's not much for them to beg for. Not at night, at least. Passenger ships rarely arrive during the night.
Well, let's head back to the hotel for the evening, and we'll go talk to John Tunstall in the morning.
Sounds good.
You head back to the hotel and sleep for the night, awakening in the morning to a wonderful breakfast prepared by the hotel staff. The Pinkertons are down there eating breakfast together, having a hushed conversation at their table. One of them waves to you, Mary.
Oh. That's all. I just, do stupid girl blush. Sit down.
Excellent.
Giggle. Ha 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 ha.
You can tell that they're probably talking about you now at the table and saying some, guy things.
Locker room talk?
Locker room talk.
Oh, God. Not locker room talk.
Hey, apparently it's fine.
Yeah, if you're a Pinkerton or the president.
Guys.
I'm
Guys.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm not listening. I'm gonna pretend like I am, from what they visually see, most likely just a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat my breakfast. Amos, do you want to sit by yourself or do you want to sit with me?
Oh, well, I'm fine sitting with you if you want to sit together.
Okay, great. So I'll sit with Amos, but I definitely don't want to lead on that I'm listening. But if they got loud enough, I would definitely clock in.
Do I even notice this? Because
Give me a notice check.
Oh, I made it by 1.
Yeah, you definitely tell what she's up to.
Oh, what she's up to? Okay.
Yeah. They have a little bit of their locker room talk, but other than that, their conversation is pretty well hushed. They're men used to keeping secrets.
So after breakfast, would you like to go see Mr. Tunstall?
Yes.
Excellent.
Did you sleep well?
I did. I always sleep well. Yourself?
Yes, except I was attacked by several ghosts in the night.
So you were not.
Hmm?
There is no smell of sulfur, therefore there were no ghosts.
Oh, then that shit you wrote all over your door must have protected me. Thank you.
I'm sorry, my response I felt was inappropriate, so I did not say it because I respect you.
Oh.
I respect you too, just not your,
You clearly don't respect me, sir, as all you have done is insult me every time we speak.
Look, it is not you. I just have very little respect for the occult, the practice of occultism. Giving a science to metaphysics is, I don't know. It's like it's like going to school to learn how to perform miracles. Do you get me?
You've never seen a miracle.
Oh, of course I have. Of course I have. I live almost completely apart from my family. I consider that a miracle. They are a lot with big claws that they sink into anyone nearby. So, miracles happen. The sun rises and sets, the world spins, but all that's science. And science
That's not
is
a miracle.
Right, science is a miracle. The fact that there is a way to explain absolutely everything is a miracle.
Right, no, I meant that the sun rising is not a miracle. You said like the sun rising. That's not a miracle.
Well, I know, because it happens, and miracles are pretend. I was speaking metaphorically.
Let's just go see Mr. Tunstall.
Well, all right then.
You head to the union office at the docks. Give me notice checks.
Oh, balls. I got a 17. I totally don't notice anything.
I rolled the wrong die. There we go. 12. I made it by 2.
You are about halfway to the union office at the docks when you are fairly certain that the same individual has been following you since you left the hotel.
We're being tailed. Is it one of the Pinkertons?
It is not. Give me another notice roll to see if you maybe recognize this individual.
You haven't seen him, Maggie.
That's correct. Oh. You don't roll, Maggie. Sorry.
7. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you are fairly certain that you saw him hanging out around the police department when you arrived yesterday.
Oh.
Probably a policeman.
It is possible, though he wasn't in you.
What do his shoes look like?
Policeman shoes.
Okay.
You know what to look for. He's a flatfoot.
We're being followed by a policeman.
Are we?
Trying to maintain it without uniform, but definitely tailing us. Do you want to lose him?
I would love to lose him. Shall I follow your knowledgeable lead on this one?
I just thought we'd, break off to the left here in a second and hope he doesn't see.
All right.
Using the fine art of distraction and subterfuge.
Give me stealth checks, please.
Hey, I did not expect to make that.
I beat mine by 6.
I only beat mine by 4, but I'm feeling really good about it.
The two of you duck through a little side alley, then cut through a shop and then a little open air market, and you are 100% certain that you have lost your tail.
Ooh, if we are cutting through a shop, oh no, never mind. I don't want to steal anything.
Well, an investigator of the law.
I know. Just thinking that there's like that cool thing where you like go through a shop and you like change your hat, change your jacket, walk out of the store, you look different. Mm-hmm. So they're looking for the one color, but now you're wearing a different color. But I'm not going to steal anything.
This time, yeah, no stealing then.
But we lost him?
You think so?
Awesome.
You arrive at the union office and find it closed up. No light on the inside.
Quarantined?
No light. That's fun. No lights on the inside. No lanterns. No one standing out front.
And it's not a weekend, right?
No, it should be open, but no one's there.
Is anyone nearby? Like outside?
Oh yeah, there's an elderly man sitting by on the edge of the step. Oh, you got all pink and hardy.
Yeah, well, people say that I'm fairly hardy.
What?
What?
He had a heart on.
Oh. Sir. Do you know when this office opens?
Usually every day around 8.
And I assume it's past 8, James.
Oh yes, well past.
Do you happen to know why they are not open today?
I couldn't tell you why, but everybody in the office, they came in around 7 and all left together. Even John Tunstall. Whole lot of them.
Did they happen to say where they were going, or did you overhear anything?
I didn't catch that, man.
Oh, well, it just seems odd. You wouldn't even leave like a secretary or someone to, keep watch.
Well, John Tunstall's been awfully cagey the past few weeks.
If he got up and left in a hurry with everybody,
that's right.
Retaliation. Who'd they lose?
Well, they're dock workers.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
You didn't know?
I wasn't talking. No. I was.
One of John Tunstall's boys got killed.
Name?
Oh. Everybody knows who Michael O'Kelly was.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. They haven't lost anyone since him, and that was at least 3 days ago.
Oh, no, he was 6 days ago.
Then they must have got a tip.
But he worked for John Tunstall, which is new information.
Well, new to you, but Amos has already been saying that was the case.
That's not new information.
Well, we thought he was Muscle. Now it's confirmed.
No, that's not confirmed.
I mean, it's confirmed that he worked for John Tunstall because we were told he had
that was confirmed before.
Okay. All right. Which way did they go?
Down yonder ways. I wasn't really watching. Sorry, ma'am.
Well, that's fine. They went this direction, though.
Yeah, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Amos, would you like to follow in the direction that they left, or would you like to take advantage of the fact that no one is in this building?
Wait, what?
Would you like to follow in the direction that they left, or would you like to take advantage of the fact that no one is in this building?
This is very sudden. Never really done anything like this before.
So that was not an invitation. That was if you want to go investigate the Union Room building.
Right.
The clues. I mean, I am flattered.
That actually makes a lot more sense now that you...
Yeah, usually I'm not interested in people who insult me all the time.
I don't know why you keep taking everything I say as an insult. You are incredibly intelligent.
Well, thank you. So,
you follow up bullshit signs. That's not you. I respect priests, too. That doesn't mean that I believe in what they're selling.
Would you like to break into the building and do some investigation? All right. You want to see if we can find him down the road here?
They left hours ago, right? They showed up at 7. They left immediately after, even though they opened up at 8. What time is it now?
Well, after 10.
Well, wherever they're going, they would have gotten there by now, but we don't know where that is.
Right.
Maybe we wait for them to come back?
Sure. Yeah, because we, as part of the investigation, we could absolutely say we're here to talk to Mr. Tunstall.
We are here to talk to Mr. Tunstall regarding the investigation.
Right, yeah, so I guess we could wait. If we are waiting, though, James, I would like to know if any street urchins walk by, or any street rats, as they would say in Aladdin, that maybe we could talk to.
You wait for about 45 minutes when a in uniform New Orleans police officer hastily approaches you. Found you, finally. I've been looking all over for you.
What, you've had your man following us all day?
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
The marshal, they found another body.
Who is it?
I don't know. We just told me to go and get you.
All right.
There's a very good chance that they left this morning because of this new body.
Right. Lead the way, young man.
Well, come on then. And he begins heading off. Again, they're heading in the direction of the French Quarter, where these bodies have, for the most part, aside from the floating girl, been discovered. Heading through some back streets. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
I'm so sorry, James. I know she was found floating on the pier. Was it near Tunstall's office in any way? Was it near...
His office is really rather centralized for the docks, so just about anything that happens on the water is somewhat his office.
Okay, thank you. See, I'm wondering if, because you were mentioning how, Amos, you were mentioning how he's got the union stuff, and they said he's the local underworld boss, and you were not surprised by that fact. I'm wondering if he hires street kids as well to do some of his dirty work or investigation, scout something out for an extra piece of bread that day or something.
What's the theory?
Mr. Tunstall, if he is, as you were not surprised that he was the local underworld boss, or at least considered that by some. And there's a good chance that he could be using the street urchins to do investigations, to sneak into places. He could be hiring them on the low.
He's probably paying them as lookouts.
Right. So he could be our connection to all of the victims.
Well, I suppose he could be.
It's a possibility.
It's in the midst of this conversation, falling through these strange, twisting back alleys of the French Quarter, that you realize that you have lost the officer leading you. He's suddenly nowhere to be seen.
Oh, we just got led right into an ambush.
Roll initiative.
God bless it.
That's what I said. Oh, we just got led right into an ambush.
I was going to make surprise attacks, but Amos gave it away, so we're going to give initiative for everyone instead.
I might only roll low on initiative when I don't want to roll low.
21.
You son of a son of a beautiful
one. My mother is a saint, I'll have you know.
She is a saint, I love her so.
Do you want to pick this up right after break since we're right there?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Let me get your initiative first, Mary.
My initiative is 9.
All right. I have your initiatives. When we come back after the break, guys, we will continue the lovely story of Bodies on Bourbon Street. See you in just a few minutes, guys. Hey everybody, and we are back. Hope you got a minute to take a break there and maybe use the restroom or heat up some food or do whatever it is that you do on a break. It's weird to take breaks and not be in a room full of people.
Yeah.
I pretty much didn't move. All right, so as Amos pointed out, you were in fact led right into an ambush in a back alley in the French Quarter. Right in one of those lovely little openings, like a squared courtyard, not particularly large, but the perfect vantage point for someone to spring an ambush upon you. And having called it out, Amos, you are the one that is going to be going first. There are definitely individuals waiting in this alley to ambush you. They are armed with pistols.
Uh-oh. Who are they? What are they dressed like?
They're kind of common-looking dresses, but as you are a very astute observer, give me a notice check and see if you can maybe fetch some kind of a detail out of them.
Can I also do a notice check?
I'll give you one, I suppose.
I beat it by 8.
Nothing like very particular uniform identifying. Like they're obviously not police officers, but they're definitely trained guns, thugs of a sort, perhaps. Hired muscle, most definitely.
Hired muscle. I have a feeling that the police might be on Mr. Tunstall's payroll.
It's possible.
But I will first. There are 2 that have come down the alleyway that you came from, and then an additional 1 blocking each other alleyway, making a total of 5 there, and then 2 waiting in the courtyard for a total of 7 armed gunmen waiting to ambush.
From either side of the alleyway?
Yes.
Oh,
well, you're
good.
At the edge of one alleyway in a small little courtyard, but there are 2 alleyways that come into it besides the one that you came from. And those alleyways are all occupied along with the one you were occupying.
Is there any terrain features in the courtyard I should be aware of?
It's all the buildings have a second floor, which there is no access to the second floor, but if you could somehow reach it or leap to it, you could probably climb up there. There are also the roofs of the nearby buildings. And
any place to take cover?
There is a water barrel to your right, so you could get a little bit of cover from there.
All right, I'm going to take cover behind that water barrel and fire my pistol at one of the assailants.
All right, give me a shooting test.
I'm going to have to turn this up a little so I can see the dice. 2 and 7 is 9. Shooting is 14. I did good.
And what are you shooting with?
I'm shooting with my semi-automatic pistol.
Amos produces a very strange-looking weapon. It seems it is not a revolver or a six-shooter as is commonly seen, but it is fed from some sort of a attachment underneath, a vertical feed of bullets. There's a rather strange configuration, a funny-looking handle and a long, narrow barrel. And he fires a single round, which drops one of the... I
picture if a 1911 had a front-mounted magazine.
Yes, very similar. And a single one of these individuals is dropped in his tracks by the firearm. The remaining 6 act. 2 of them in the alleyway have shots upon you, Mary, and will fire at you. I have a failure by 1.
Yes.
And a failure by 2 for the first 2 shots. The 2 in the courtyard fire at Amos, who is behind cover to them. A failure by a whole lot. And a success by 2, but because he is behind cover, it needs to be much higher than that, and the water barrel is instead shot, spraying water out from it and leaking into the courtyard floor. 2 more of them have to move to get a vantage point, and they're able to make shots once on Mary and once on Amos. And Amos, one of them, again, comes narrowly close, getting a success by 3, but that only hits the water barrel again. This time, chunks of wood and water spray you as the barrel is pierced by the bullet. Mary, it is your turn.
James, will it take one whole round action for me to see if there's any magic?
Yes, that is a very strong concentration. Stand still. It's not an easy task.
Okay, then I don't want to waste time by doing that. I will pull out my pepperbox pistol.
Fancy.
The one who shot at me. The first one who shot
You
at
have
me.
your choice of one in the courtyard or either of them that are in the alley behind you.
Oh, I don't want them to be behind me. No, I will shoot one behind me.
Yes, they're trying to catch you in a crossfire.
Yeah, of course they are. Well, that's a hard miss. If I could switch my dice out, I would. I need to talk to my dice really quickly because I just
need a little help, chat.
Need a little help, little chatty.
Yeah,
right. Amos, it is on to you. The gunmen are closing. What do you do?
There's still 2 behind us, right?
There's still 2 in the alley, and there are 4 total in the courtyard now. They have come out of the alleyways that they were hiding in.
Excellent. That seems just fine. I am going to take a look at the men, the ones fighting, and I'm going to see the one that seems to be... Who's been shooting the barrel? Can I tell, like, who's been getting the closest to hitting me?
He's going to be on your right. He is the one that the barrel is giving you the least amount of cover from. He looks like he's trying to work his way around it and ignore it altogether to shoot you.
All right. I am going to see if I can find a weak spot on him using my human anatomy skill.
Oh, excellent.
To see if there's like a soft part where I can maybe shoot through him and into the next guy.
Give me a medicine roll.
You are Sherlock Holmesing him right now.
100%.
This is something on your character sheet, isn't it?
Yes. An understanding of human anatomy. If I split my action and succeeded a medicine check, as well as the relevant related skill check, I gain a +10 to damage or health recovered from a success.
Aha. All right. Now give me the relevant shooting test.
Ooh, 8. Beat it by 6.
You shoot him quite purposefully through.
Oh, it was split. I only beat it by 4 because it was a split action technically.
Okay.
But my success is hitting another guy. So
you shoot him cleanly through the heart, killing him instantaneously.
And
the bullet ricochets off and nicks the leg of the one behind him.
Beautiful.
They return fire. The 2 in the alley will fire at you, Mary. I have a success by 4.
Oh.
My dodge is 4.
Yeah, that still hits you.
Yeah, no.
You are shot, Mary. You are going to take 30 damage.
Oh, that's a good
30?
Yes, ma'am.
30 damage?
Hey.
That's what guns do.
I am so squishy. Like, so
I know.
squishy.
The second one is a terrible shot, however. He was shooting where you were before you were shot and injured and clutching the wound on your side. The 3 in the courtyard are going to continue to fire at Amos.
An imp in my head, no, we have no armor.
No, they are regular individuals. They are very squishy and very killable.
I think the only reason we have guns is because it's the West.
That's correct. In fact, they are very much outgunned. The pepper box pistol and the semi-automatic pistol, compared to several revolvers, is a little bit outgunned. Oh, I've got another one that's so close it's success by 3, but that barrel prevents you from getting hit again. And then I have a success by 2, which once again the barrel prevents you from getting hit.
I don't imagine that barrel's doing too well.
No, it is mostly devoid of water and being splintered apart by all of the shots. Man, it is very close, but they do not manage to hit you, and that's going to go once again to Mary. There are still 2 in the alley. You have been shot and are bleeding.
Indeed I am. Do I have anything in my occult kit? I assume it's just, I'm Batman, and I have a utility belt.
Designed for a variety of supernatural foes.
Right, but do I have anything, like any herbs or anything that I could like shove in a wound?
If you had time to treat it, but in the middle of a shootout is not so...
So I not even just like meow. Okay, great, no problem. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot the guy again. That time, I beat it by 2.
He has no dodge bonus in the alleyway, and you shoot him with the pepper box pistol, making only 1 left in the alley to engage you. Top of the order, Amos.
I'm still shooting back at other bad guys because she's getting the guys behind us, right? I'm not gonna let up on them.
Yeah, I'm focusing on the back. You focus on the front.
Mm-hmm.
You are facing 3, Amos. One of them has a leg wound.
The one that has a leg wound, if he's like taking cover in the alley, I'm going to shoot the brick so I can blind him, like next to his face. I'm going to make a medicine check first so I can get the desired effect, although I don't know how necessary that is. I don't need to do extra damage with it. I'm just trying to blind him. Would it work basically the same way?
Yes.
All right. Medicine check beat by 10.
Oh, yes.
Shooting test beat by 4.
You shoot a brick and it explodes, putting a huge cloud of sand and dust in the air. It blinds him and will make the shots more difficult for his 2 companions as well.
Yeah.
The one remaining engaging you, Mary, fires again. And it is a close shot with a success by 1, but your dodge bonus is going to have that beat.
Get him, Mary! Mary, take him down.
Are you Jimmy Stewart now?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, blind individual still fires, but his shot is so terrible that in fact he shoots one of the other gentlemen to his right in his pain and crying out, shooting him through the leg, and that throws his shot off so that he shoots the bricks behind your head instead of hitting you, Amos. And then the third one again shoots the barrel, which less than half of it remains. It is no longer viable cover.
Good to know.
I would like you to start applauding.
Why do we have time for that?
Mary, it is your turn.
How many are left?
There is the 1 in the alley and the 3 in the courtyard, 2 of which are injured. Your pepper box pistol is down to 3 bullets.
Indeed, and I'm going to take out the one in the alley because he's still behind us.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed, I am. I beat that by 2 again.
Nicely done. You shoot the individual in the alley, clearing an escape route for you.
Amos. Let's go.
Pardon? You gonna go? You run?
I mean, I'm asking Amos. Amos.
She's wanting to run. Are you going to follow, Amos?
I've got one of them blinded and unable to run. If I take out the other 2, we can question him.
Let's do it.
So, we'll both make like we're going to run, and then we just turn around and each take a shot at the guy.
You are at the top of the order, Amos, so you are going first.
I will hold my action until it is Mary's turn, so we can both shoot different guys at the same time.
Do we fall at the same time into a puddle?
Oh yeah, John Woo still.
Yeah.
The remaining 3 take their shots. 1 still blinded. Even blind, his shot is much closer this time. It strikes the rocks just to your right, Amos, blowing apart more on the side of the building. And then 2 more rounds echo out through the courtyard and bounce off. More building destroyed and masonry destroyed behind you. And it is both of your turns with the 3 remaining in the alley.
Again, we both look like we're about to turn and run, and then we both just turn and fire, as though to surprise them.
And I beat my shooting by 3.
Beat it by 3. And Amos?
I haven't rolled yet. I was about to. Oh, I rolled a 3. There's a 1 and a 2.
You gun down 2 of them and leave the blinded one still alive. And as you finish shooting, a shot rings out from above from a rooftop and pierces the blinded man through the forehead, dropping him to the ground.
Look up instantly.
Give me notice checks. Someone is running across the rooftops and retreating.
I beat my notice by 4.
Yeah, I beat mine by 10.
It was 100% that beat cop that led you down this alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he was watching and definitely making sure that we were not, that no information was going to be given to us.
Oh, yeah. He just shot his own thug.
All right. Hello, puppy.
By this point, people have shown up from the shots fired in the alleyway, and there are screams that someone stumbles across the dead body.
Everyone, please be calm. We here are with your local law enforcement. There seems to have been a scuffle here, but the local law enforcement should be here soon.
We need to go.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. You all look fabulous.
You lead Mary away, and she has clearly been shot, Amos.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to look at that. Can we catch a cab, a handy cab or something?
Yes, you can catch a cart. Yeah.
Yeah, I flag one down and get her into it.
James, in the cab, do I have time to open and maybe throw some herbs into my wound or something?
That Amos has got taken care of, perhaps.
Don't put anything into the wound.
I'm sorry. How many times have you seen me wounded?
Once.
Right now. I have been wounded many times in my life, and I know exactly how to take care of myself. Now, I would be more than happy to follow your medicine and get stitches or whatever I need, but at the moment, I would like to get some healing started while we make our way to your table.
This is my table. This coach right here is my table.
You're going to perform surgery on the table?
I am hoping you don't require surgery. Let me take a look at it.
Where was I shot, James?
In the arm.
And in order to do that, I need you to not be shoving shit in your wound. Is that actual shit? Is that just mushed up plants? What did you mush that up with? Was it spit?
Indeed, they are plants with some healing properties and some properties to help stop blood, to help naturally clot.
I get on some iodine, some rubbing alcohol, and I'm like pouring that shit on there. Let's get a good look. This is going to sting a lot, like real medicine.
Mine also stings, but I've
special ability to split your actions and make 2 medicine checks to increase the possibility of healing more.
Yes, I do. I'm going to use it. Come on, medicine. Okay, that's a 7.
Successful.
And this will. It's a 9 and a 2 would be 11, but I get a +2, so it's a 9. Which is also successful.
All right, you recover 20 health, Maggie, from the treatment at the hands of Amos.
Now, James, are you really going to deny me some of my own healing here? I don't get anything.
What I was going to point out is that, Amos, you do recognize the herbs she was going to use there. You know, it's rather primitive. They do work.
It'll work just fine.
It's totally viable. It's just, It's rather unrefined, sort of, a last-ditch sort of thing that you would do out in the woods if you had nothing else.
Why don't you put that on when I'm not around to bandage you?
I can bandage myself, sir. I have healed myself many a time.
This time, an actual doctor took care of it for you. That's not the type of gift horse you want to look in the mouth necessarily.
You are stitched up and well bandaged at this point.
I appreciate you stitching me up and bandaging me up, but I also still do not appreciate that I accept what you do and you do not accept what I do.
Your poultice will work just fine, but you don't need it if you have a doctor. So hold on to it. It looks like good work, if primitive.
Well.
And primitive isn't bad. Us underestimating things that we called primitive is why we don't have most of the country anymore. I get it. It works. I'm not dogging you on that.
I appreciate you for trying. Thank you so much.
The taxi stops suddenly.
That's not good.
We're probably going to have to defend our lives again. Just a moment. Oh, take this cocaine.
Why, thank you, sir.
It's for the ghosts.
It is not for the ghosts. It would be wasted.
Step on out of the cart, you two. Don't try nothing.
Does the voice sound familiar at all?
Not at all.
I'm sorry, sir. Is there a problem?
You might want to step out of the car, lady. Or we fill it full of shotgun shells.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem very gentlemanly to just
get out of the car. 100% get out of the car.
Damn it.
There are 8 gunmen with shotguns and rifles leathered to the car in a semicircle around it.
Are they Pinkertons?
Give me notice checks.
Oh, I missed it by 1. We have no rerolls and no meta searches.
I'm right on.
Right on. They don't look like thugs, but they have like the hard hands of dock workers and the kind of boots that working men would have.
As if they were part of a union?
Must be Tunstall's boys.
Oh, Tunstall's boys.
One of them from the group approaches and slowly takes the time to disarm you and tie you up. Under gunpoint by the others, of course.
Of course.
You are then led away and then taken to a small boat at the edge of the docks, which begins a trip into the canals, many of them underneath the very buildings of New Orleans.
Are you going to string us up by our heels and drain us of our blood?
You got the wrong idea about this lady.
Yeah, that's really more of an English thing.
So, may I ask why we are here? Why you're taking us in the Undercity of New Orleans?
Just following orders.
From
You keep quiet if you know what's good for you. Through several of the canals you are taken until you're not quite sure where you are. And in one of these, they pull over to the side of a sort of a, you might call it a landing underneath the city, as it were.
James, since they don't want us to talk, and it's quite a bit of a boat ride, I would love to concentrate and see if there's any magic on any of them.
Give me a focus check.
Right on. 16.
Excellent. You do not find anything of magic that is not on your person.
Can I do a notice check while we're sitting? Do any of them have a neck tattoo, wrist, like a gangy type tattoo thingy that's like a symbol of... That is an 11, so I beat it by 3.
A couple of them have some distinct tattoo markings. You're not quite sure what they mean, but they're distinct and similar on a couple of them.
Like 2 of the guys have the same kind of symbol kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so.
Right.
It must have some kind of meaning, but you're not sure what.
Right. But that's a good sign.
They lead you to a place.
Information.
The only entrance here seems to be the canal that they take you in on. They stop the boat and unload you. There are several men already down here, a few chairs, barrels, things set up as though this is regularly used as some form of meeting place. You are then tied to chairs next to each other.
Wait, James, are we tied Indiana Jones style?
Yes,
or
back to back, tied to each other in the chairs, Indiana Jones style. That will be important for later.
It's important to know.
It is very important to know.
If one of us gets kissed, the other one won't know.
That's true.
We'll have to like sit there uncomfortably.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes, another gentleman enters. He's better dressed than the others, but still has the look of hard work about him.
Mr. Tunstall, I presume?
You're most correct, young lady. Now, tell me what you know about these killings.
We're trying to figure out who did them.
Yeah, so the most we know is
it
just
wasn't
about
you. Or at least I do.
We know about as much as your local law enforcement, which, by the way, just seems to be top notch.
Now that bastard Brady.
I will agree with you there. He is a bastard.
Why don't they want you to know what happened?
All the victims worked for me. Even the urchins. Aye.
Why do the cops not want you to know anything?
I believe that James Dolan is behind these killings. He's killing me men because I've been organized in a union.
Oh, yeah, he hired 6 Pinkertons. They came into our hotel this morning.
And you said there was no way that they could have been involved.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh, all right.
I said it was useless questioning them until we knew they were involved.
All right. Do you and James Dolan have bad blood?
How did you lift your arms above your head like that? As though you had scored points in a game that only you were playing.
It was a game only I was playing.
If we could somehow replicate that, we'd be untied in no time.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, you did it again!
Mr. Dowling. I mean, Mr. Tunstall, do you have bad blood with Mr. Dowling?
Dolan and I have been feuding. We've been feuding since New Mexico.
What about?
He runs the house.
Oh, I heard that. Now, what is the house?
It's
Maybe puppy.
The underworld. It's he wants to muscle in on everything on our docks out here. He wants to. Oh, hi, Bruce.
He opened the door with his mouth. That's what he does.
Yeah, you can turn the doorknob with it. All right, get out of here. Go on.
Thank you, Jeff.
Go on, big man.
Oh.
Dolan runs the house. He's trying to run me and my union out, take over the docks.
So do you think he's trying to scare your workers?
Isn't this the same stuff you were fighting over in New Mexico?
It was.
Do you think he's trying to scare your workers by taking them all and killing them in a mysterious way?
I don't know why he's doing this weird ritual cult killing madness, but I know it's him. I don't have any proof. I was hoping you did.
We're working on it.
Right now, all we know is he's hired thugs.
That's not good enough. I'm afraid you're going to have to stay here. Me and my forces, we're going to go to Dolan's Manor outside of New Orleans, and we're going to take the fight to him and finish this.
Oh.
I do not know if that is your best power play.
I'm afraid it's what we're doing. You're going to have to be staying here. I can't trust you. I hope
no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't leave us here. I mean, we need to find out. We need to find out as much as you do. That's why we're here. Why not use us in the same capacity? I've ruled you out as a suspect.
And
So
the
you would
local
help me
police.
raid the home of James Dolan and murder him.
No, I'm going to complete the investigation and find the actual murderer once you've been proven wrong.
I can't have you out there running and perhaps letting James Dolan know I'm coming.
Why would I tell James Dolan you're coming? I've never met the man. I certainly don't work for him. And if he is responsible for the people who attacked us in the alley, well, he would hopefully at this point know better than to come after us. Unless those cops in the alley were you.
They were not. Those were Brady's men. Brady works for Dolan.
Well, then, Dolan should know better next time, shouldn't he?
I'm sorry, I can't trust you. You'll have to be waiting here. Let's load it up, man. We're going to the manor. We're taking the fight to Dolan.
Okay, well, good luck. Hopefully, 2 trained investigators can't break out of these ropes.
They load up into boats into the canal and drift away, leaving only 2 men to guard you.
That's just insulting.
It is. What do you do?
Well, if we are back to back, then, I mean, I still have my utility belt on, I assume, because they didn't. That's not a weapon to them. In which I assume I have lots of tiny knives.
Just tell me what you're trying to do.
I'm gonna cut the ropes.
Try and find a way to cut yourself free.
Yeah, or if I'm close enough to feel the knot on him, can I untie his knot?
I just like that.
I have a trench lighter for my pipe in my vest here that I can't quite reach.
Oh, okay, okay. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm in.
Reach back and just grab a hold. That's not a lighter. We're going.
Okay, but we can't flick it into the fire.
No, we're just going to catch the ropes on fire.
Okay, we'll
They'll burn before we do, right?
I don't know, science man, you tell me.
I can tell you that science dictates that rope is more flammable than people.
There we go. All right, I help him remove the lighter from his pocket, and we light the ropes on fire to break free.
The 2 of you are struggling valiantly. I'll take athletics tests for that.
Right on the dot, 14.
May I roll an engineering check?
Yes.
I mean, I have athletics and it's the same, but given what I'm trying to do, I got a 9, beat it by 3.
All right, the 2 of you are struggling, and just about the time you get the lighter out and get it going and start burning away these ropes, single shot rings out, striking one of the guards from in the canalway. A bottle with a rag attached to it with a flame coming from it hurtles through the air, landing on the landing way there, bursting into a blue and green flame, which begins spilling out a cloud of horrible, foul-smelling black smoke.
Oh, good.
You said blue and green flame. Is this to imply that it's a different kind of Molotov cocktail?
Very much so.
Do I recognize it?
Not at all, but Amos might.
They only serve this Molotov cocktail at Bennigan's.
I believe you have chemistry, Amos?
I do. I'm all about chemistry. And I'm going to, being a man of science, I'm going to rule out anything it couldn't be first.
All right. Using your man of science special ability.
Yes. And with that man of science special ability, I got a 7.
Very good.
Beating it by 7.
You can't identify 100% what it is, but you believe it is a toxic, lethal gas that is burning off from that combined fluid.
Oh.
It could be one of several, but you believe it is toxic and lethal. the thick cloud quickly filling up the small area.
Quick, hold your breath. If you breathe
Holding your breath, you're able to burn the rope enough that the two of you break free from it. The lone guard fires a shot before inhaling smoke, coughing and hacking. He collapses to the ground next to his shot companion. What do you do?
I collect his revolver and keep moving out the way that they came.
I'll take the other weapon and follow.
That's the direction that the bottle came from. As you dash to the other side of the cloud that is still filling up the horrible, horrible, horrible scent in here. You can see a small boat that has 3 men in it. They look very similar to those hard-eyed looking thugs, except for, give me a notice check.
You beat it by 4.
I missed it by 1.
Amos, you recognize the third one was with those Pinkertons in the hotel.
Ah, Pinkertons. They brought Pinkertons.
To help.
Because you have dashed through the cloud, you have a single surprise action before we begin initiative. Both of you, what do you do?
Oh. The surprise action before we fight the Pinkertons.
The Pinkerton and the 2 thugs, yes.
God bless it. I'd like to take out I'm going to unsheath my sword cane.
Aha, your sword cane.
So I'm basically dual wielding.
So I assume you picked up one of the revolvers from the downed.
Yeah.
So
I think I said that as someone else was talking. But yeah, no, he grabbed one, I grabbed the other.
Do we have a regular equipment?
Your normal guns were taken. So your semi-automatic and your pepperbox pistol were taken.
Oh, but like she still has her sword cane?
Yes, they thought it was a cane.
So I still have my cane?
Yes, you still have your cane.
Excellent. Then I am going to continue to rush forward, and I am just going to break the nose of that Pinkerton as hard as I can with the stout end of my stout cane. Hopefully blinding and disorienting him using science.
Another movie magic moment, like the alleyway. We're both gonna run up at the same time, smash in the face. I think that's the way to do it.
All right, each one of you, give me a fighting test. I want single stick fighting from the educated man, and a standard fighting check from Mary.
On the dot, 14.
I got a 9.
As it is a surprise, he does not gain his dodge bonus, and you stab the lead thug in the boat, killing him. While just stepping past you, Amos swings his cane as a single stick, breaking open the nose and cracking the skull of the Pinkerton in the middle of the boat.
And both rolls I made easily, so 30 damage.
He is most certainly very dead. We have initiative as you will roll against the lone remaining thug in the boat.
Roll initiative?
Yes, please.
12 and 1, 13, 15.
30.
Amos.
Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong guy.
No, imp. With a cane.
And 9 is 19.
Yes.
23 for Mary.
Mary, you will go first.
I'd like to take my sword cane and put it up against his throat.
Aha.
Now, I don't know. Yeah. I'm threatening him. You get it. That is a 4, so I beat it by 8.
He drops his pistol into the boat, putting his hands up.
Hello, sir. You a Pinkerton, yes?
He was.
But you're not.
No, just that.
No, ma'am.
Oh.
The rest of them are back at Bowen's place waiting to ambush Tunstall.
I see. And are you just a contact here? Are you just their driver? How are you involved?
I just do a little work every now and again for the house.
That's a very cute answer. Tell me the truth.
I just do a little work now and again for the house.
Amos, how would you like to proceed?
We should probably go warn Tunstall that he's about to be ambushed.
Indeed. Sir, can you, on your boat, can you take us down this direction? I'd like to... With the boat, we'll go faster, I assume.
Much.
So, go down to see if we can catch up with Tunstall.
Right.
Do you even boat, bro?
Who has boating? Do we want to just dump the bodies in the water?
They are both quite dead.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Great, because excess weight. So we just, bodies in the water. And we boat off to catch up with Tunstall.
All right. You are still a bit behind him. He had a bit of a head start there.
So while we're just in the boat doing absolutely nothing, what are your take on these murders that have been happening in town?
Pretty sick, huh?
Indeed. Drained to their blood.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Did you hear the Pinkertons say anything about it? Because I'm a little scared.
They were pretty weirded out by it, too. People don't get drained of blood very often. That's a new thing.
Right. Do you have any questions, Amos?
No, he seems simple.
He leads you out
Kindness
of
abounds.
canals. He leads you out of these canals underneath the water and back to the docks. So here you go. Now
I'll tip him. Would you please go back to the Pinkertons and let them know that the men were successful.
Whoa. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Who was your main target?
Any of Tunstall's men that got left behind.
Nothing about us.
Oh, sorry, you were just caught in the crossfire, I guess.
But
Brady said you were already dead.
Right, because he sent men to kill us at the alley. Makes sense. Okay, that's all I needed. If you want to send him back to the Pinkertons so he can tip them off, then now's your
The
chance.
information he gave you is the Pinkertons with the Dolan residents waiting to ambush John Tunstall anyway.
Yeah, we're going to go meet up with them. Do you really want him getting a head start?
No. So never mind, pretend I didn't say it.
Okay. But you did.
How
close are we to Tunstall?
You're not sure. This guy's just gotten you out from underneath the city and back to the docks. Tunstall has at least a half-hour head start on you.
But they were walking, presumably?
Well, they had to leave by boat just as you did to get out from beneath New Orleans.
Do we see any tracks, like giant groups of tracks leading up? Like they all went up the stairs here, or?
Assuming they even came here, no, there's no way to know. They could have gone any.
But you said there was only one way in and out.
East New Orleans. They might not have headed back to the docks. They could have headed to a lot of places. You're not really familiar with things around here. But you can guess that John Tunstall and his dock workers know every canal underneath the city.
Well, then I guess we just have to go to Dolan's house as fast as we can.
Yes.
We ask for directions, I guess?
It's quite easy to get directions to Dolan Manor. Are you going to set out on foot, hire a taxi, steal horses?
I mean, hiring a taxi or steal. I don't want to steal. So we hire a taxi.
Or borrow horses, excuse me.
Commandeer, I believe is the word.
Horses. It's up to you, Amos. Would you like to commandeer or do you want to just get a taxi?
Let's commandeer. We can ride faster.
All right. You commandeer a pair of horses and head off with directions towards Dolan Manor outside of New Orleans. Racing, kicking up sand and dirt behind the horses. You get out of the town past areas of swamp and lowlands and into dense greenery. And then you come upon the long fields of the Dolan Manor, and in the distance you can see the house, and shots are ringing out.
Looks like we're a bit too late.
There is a gunfight going on at Dolan Manor.
I guess we run up to it?
As you get closer to the manor, turning into the driveway, you can see that the ambush was sprung just as Tunstall and his men reached the manor house itself. Men lying in wait in the fields sprung up to open fire upon them, while other men inside the house opened fire upon them, pinning them in a deadly crossfire.
Oh, God.
What do you do?
Are you scaring the dog, Maggie?
Yeah. No, I was...
Stop hurting my puppy. Yeah, I'm going to try and help Tunstall's men by taking out the people pinning him down on the one side.
All right, you are closer to the men in the fields. You can go for them first.
Great, I will.
All right. I'm assuming you're going to be assisting him with that, Mary, or do you have a different plan?
No, indeed, I'll assist.
All right, let's get some initiative out and see how this gunfight goes down.
A whopping 13 for Mary.
Hey, that's not bad.
2021.
All right, you're going to go first, Amos.
Yay! My initiative is not good, but I keep going first because I roll good on initiative today. I'm going to shoot them, obviously.
All right.
It seems the best way. 1 and 6 is 7. Beat it by 7.
Using the commandeered revolver, you shoot one of the Pinkertons in the back, who is using a fence post to aim at Tunstall's men, dropping him in his tracks. In the chaos of the gunfight, they still don't seem to have noticed they have been ambushed from behind by Amos and Mary, and the remaining
Excellent.
4 Pinkertons open fire on Tunstall's men. And 2 of Tunstall's men are brought down in a hail of bullets as more shots come from the inside of the manor at his men.
Damn it.
And another one of his men falls out in the open ground, pinned down between the 2 forces. Mary, you're next.
I'm going to shoot the next closest one.
All right, another Pinkerton.
I got a 7, so I beat my shooting by 5.
Yeah.
You shoot another Pinkerton in the back, reducing those in the field down to 3. But at this point, they have noticed that they are being shot from attackers from behind.
Hello. I don't actually say hello.
Agnes, may we join? We thought you were clay pigeons. Our apologies. Fool!
Tunstall's surviving men return fire. One of them shoots into the upper floor, shooting one of the ambushers in the second floor of the Dolan Manor, and his body falls out of the window, crashing down into the courtyard below.
That's a great stunt, man. Good job, buddy.
Amos.
Amos shoots another of the fence side ambushers.
All right, a Pinkerton.
Yes. Using all of my Red Dead Redemption knowledge, I know that Pinkertons are evil. 6 and 6 is 12. I beat it by 2.
You shoot a Pinkerton in the back, leaving it down to 2.
Bravely shoot him.
The Pinkertons fire at the both of you, failing by 1 and succeeding by 6 against you, Amos.
Oh, that'll hit then.
You are shot for 30 damage, Amos.
Ow!
Can I shove
Those
some
from
herbs
inside
in
the
it?
house continue to open fire on Tunstall's men. Shooting down another one of his men in the open ground of the courtyard. Mary, your turn.
I'm shooting that. We have one left, correct?
There are 2 Pinkertons still in the
Two
field.
Pinkertons. I'll shoot one of the Pinkertons.
You can split your actions and fire twice at a penalty of 2 if you wish.
I will do that, actually. So the
All
first shot is an 8, so I beat it by 5 again. Or no.
That's going to hit. Beat it by 3.
By 4, sorry.
Oh, 4? Okay.
And then, so the next one I have to get a 10 or less. That's a 2. Oh, that's a 12, so I do miss my second shot.
Ah, but the first one is successful, and you down the Pinkerton, leaving only 1 remaining. Tunstall's men return fire on those inside the house. And a second one is shot and falls off of the porch,
Jeez.
dead by Tunstall's men.
Look, are Tunstall's men shooting?
They're shooting back, yeah.
Okay, good.
That there's another one of the men inside the house.
I misheard.
Both sides, they're dropping rapidly.
Good.
Amos.
I'm going to split my action for an understanding of human anatomy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, take a look, make sure my wound isn't too bad by quickly wiping it off and taking a quick gander at it. I'm going to shoot the remaining Pinkerton and use the hot barrel of the gun to cauterize the wound.
Can I put some herbs on it after he's done?
We'll get to your
In the middle of a fight, you're gonna pull out some herbs and just.
A salve. A salve. I said
no,
salve.
you can't do that. Can't.
We'll get to your action eventually, Mary. It is not your turn currently. I will take those 2 actions. Give me a medicine roll and a shooting test.
That's
You
right.
can come in any order.
This only works in movies. This should be fine.
It's true.
Medicine roll is a 13, so I beat it by 3.
That works.
And my shooting test is a 6, so I beat it by 8.
You shoot down the last of the Pinkertons out in the field and apply the burning hot barrel to the wound.
And heal 10.
Yes, you will recover 10 health from that. Only works in the movies and in Metaverse. The remaining men inside the house open fire on Tunstall's men, shooting down 2 more of Tunstall's men, leaving only Tunstall and 1 of his accomplices left, who return fire on those inside the house.
I yell at them to fall back to the wagons.
They are retreating back towards the wagons as they fire, downing yet another one of the shooters from inside the house as they take cover. Mary, what are you doing?
I assume Amos isn't going to let me help him in any way. Is that true?
I'm not going to let you put a poultice on me in the middle of a goddamn gunfight, if that's what you mean.
Well, I'm just thinking that, like, combat medics can do things very quickly, and if it was just a salve to help the burning
Are
sensation...
you a combat medic?
Probably, basically.
Look. It's written down on a piece of paper in front of you. I can't see it.
No, I am not a combat medic.
Because I am. That would be very coincidental if we were both that.
So all the Tunstall people are retreating to the wagons?
Tunstall and his 1 surviving henchman are retreating towards the wagons.
And where are the rest of Dolan's
The rest
guys?
of the shooters are inside the house, firing from open windows and doorways.
Is Tunstall with them?
Tunstall is with the 1 retreating henchman, falling back. He is bleeding. He has also been shot.
Amos, it looks like Tunstall is bleeding. Is there any way you could help him at this moment?
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you. So, Tunstall, it seems that you were ambushed.
Are those guys dead in there now?
No, there are still men inside the house shooting.
Well, are we retreating? I mean, like, do we want to regroup? No.
We want to not be getting shot at while we're having this conversation.
Then I will shoot someone in a window.
All right, give me a shooting test.
I beat it by 1.
Beat it by 1. You hit the outside of the window, beating it by 1, not striking someone inside. We will go back to the top and put it in Amos's hands.
I will shoot at another one.
All right, firing at those inside the house.
6 and 2, 6 and 6, 12. Beat it by 2.
Beat it by 2, just enough to hit someone inside. You strike someone on the second floor who tumbles dramatically backwards. Gunmen from inside fire back at you, taking cover behind the wagons. Bullets landing into the dirt and hitting the wagon beside you. It seems they're down to just 2 shooters inside the house. Tunstall takes cover, and though he's bleeding, he's not going to fire. His remaining henchman, using a rifle, fires back into the house and misses again. Mary.
I'll shoot again. That is an 8, so I beat it by 5. 4.
You time it so right when one of them is stepping into the doorway to fire his rifle, and you take him in the chest with a bullet, knocking him to the ground. Amos, top of the order. There is 1 shooter left inside the house.
I'm going to try and shoot him.
All right, give me a shooting test.
But, like, you know, someplace in this area. I'm not trying to kill him, but I want him to fall down.
Gut shot.
Something that's not immediately fatal. 7. Beat it by 7.
Give him
You
a
hit
gut
him
malarkey.
solidly in the lower hip area, knocking him from his perch in the window and out of sight. No more bullets come from inside of the house.
Okay, let's do some triage real quick. Who's bad? Who's fine? Who's worse?
You have an injury. Tunstall has been hit in the arm. It does not look bad, but he is bleeding.
Okay, I'm gonna do me first then, because
All right.
I took a buttload.
Yep. You were badly hurt.
I will offer my assistance to the doctor if he needs any help.
Please, yeah. If you could help out with Tunstall, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
13. Beat it by 3. For my medicine to take care of me. I don't know what that would do. But...
All right. That's going to recover 10 more health for you, sir.
Great. That's good enough for now.
No, you should look to Tunstall, because I don't have any medicine on my sheet.
Okay. I will work on Tunstall. Figure out what's wrong with the medicine check. 14. I beat it by 2. Another medicine check is an 18. Missed it by 4. Or 2.
You are able
Missed
to
it
stop
by 2.
bleeding, but you do not recover any of Tunstall's lost health.
Okay.
No longer
Okay.
bleeding. A
That's
gunshot sounds from inside of the house, but no bullet comes out. It sounds like it was inside the house.
Oh, that poor man took his own life.
I mean, maybe he did, but maybe he didn't.
You want to go check?
Sure.
That would be good.
I'll go
As
check.
you approach the house, James Dolan comes walking out from the house, casting off ropes from around his arms and around his legs, holding one of the pistols that looks like from one of the downed men. They took me hostage in my own home. I had to shoot one of them.
Oh, did ya? May I ask, Mr. Dolan, why you setting Mr. Tunstall up?
Setting Mr. Tunstall up, he came to my home here to pick a fight. If these men hadn't have been taken me hostage, I would have probably been dead at Tunstall's hand.
So you had nothing to do with the ambush that the Pinkertons were doing on Mr. Tunstall at your property?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Interesting. But, you know, I gotta say, points for theatrics. You coming out with the, like, you're taking off the ropes as if you were a victim. I mean, sir. That is commitment. I applaud you on your commitment.
Forensics to see if he indeed has been taken hostage or if he just put some rope around his wrists. We'll see how long it's been there, I guess. You know what I mean? That is easily a critical.
He was obviously tied up, but he was only tied up very recently. And whoever did it didn't really tie him up all that well, as though he was intended to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and pick out several other faults with his story. Now that I've got that piece, I figure I can put others together.
Aren't you Amos Rockefeller?
I am.
Ah, you know, your dad, John, or your Uncle John, is a good friend of mine.
Is he now?
Ah, yes. He's helping me with my operation down here.
Is he now?
Aye, Rockefeller backs the house. Because the house always wins.
I see. So, what would my uncle want the situation outcome to be?
Well, I was clearly taken hostage, and this man Tunstall came here to kill me. You should be taking him to jail.
Oh, and that would make my uncle happy.
I would think so.
Is your uncle happy that you have been taking Tunstall's men and murdering them in mysterious ways?
Taking people and murder? I am no murderer. You got me confused with Tunstall here. He is the murderer.
Oh, right. No, you didn't do the murder. You were just in the room at the same time. No, I've heard that. He's
been brutally murdering his own employees?
I wouldn't put him past him.
Do you mind if we take this conversation inside, Mr. Dolan?
There's a lot of dead men in there.
Well, it doesn't bother me. Does it bother you?
There's a lot of dead men out here.
I was talking, just taking hostage. I was on my way to see Marshal Brady here in town. Get the police involved. If you won't take Tunstall into custody, maybe he will.
You mean the police that are on your payroll?
I have no idea what you're talking about, young lady.
You know, for a man who is in charge of a lot of things, you know very little. Yeah,
Where are the pieces that I'm missing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Your questions don't have anything to do with the pieces that I'm missing.
Ah. Why don't you like Tunstall?
You've got some history.
Lincoln County.
That's right. You know your history, boy.
I know my Western history. Billy the Kid is famous.
That he is. She, mind you, that she is.
Who did you shoot inside?
One of these hostage takers.
The one I shot in the hip.
I think he was wounded. Yes, you may be right.
I'm right. Why the blood?
Yeah. I guess since we're out here talking, I'd like to see if there's any magic on him. I'll do a focus.
Yes, focus.
Right on 16.
Sometime within less than the past 24 hours, he has been in contact with magic physically.
Excellent. So do you mind telling me who your supernatural friend is there, Mr. Dolan?
Super what?
Supernatural. It's coming off you in waves here.
I just bathed this morning. I don't think so.
Oh, it's not something that water removes.
What time of day is it?
It is around 2 in the afternoon now.
But he is not magic himself.
Doesn't seem to be, but he was definitely in contact with some serious magic in the last less than 24 hours.
And if I check out, this is gonna sound dumb, but all I can think of is like when you're describing these like magical detect magic. That's like it's like the video game Fable, where like there's like little glittery stuff like places.
Like an aura around him.
An aura around him. Is that anywhere else on the property, like front door?
No, it's definitely on him.
Okay.
Like he was in contact with it. You don't think whatever it was here.
I gotcha. Yes, Mr. Dolan, I would like to know who your supernatural friend is. Maybe someone who is pulling your puppet strings.
I got no idea what it's about.
I'm sorry, Amos. Is this bothering you?
No, if you don't mind, I'm going to go get the marshal. Sort this whole thing out.
No. No, not yet.
I can identify the kind of magic it is, correct? Just that there was magic?
You can't really be certain. Not with the role you got. You need to do better than that.
What's
I'm going to call
doing?
Oh, sorry.
What was that?
What's Tunstall doing?
Tunstall looks like he's about to point his pistol and shoot Dolan in the face. He's just waiting for the opportunity. Oh. I don't know if you can still see us or not because my Twitch feed over here just got an error. Can you guys still see us?
I can. You're still on.
All right. I don't see you anymore.
Well, they see us.
There was a network error. Okay.
Tunstall.
Yes.
What's the hesitation exactly?
All these men. The sheriff will just throw me in jail if I shoot Dolan. They'll hang me.
Yeah, but you came here with the intent to kill him. Now you're just sitting there.
If I kill him, I have to kill you, so there's no witnesses, and I don't really feel inclined to kill the two people who just saved my life.
And they'll hang you anyway. There are no other suspects in this crime. Nor was it the one that we were hired to solve. So, we have to figure out the real problem. This is just...
Well, then it's your lucky day, Jimmy boy. I'm going to get you next time, though. Tunstall turns to walk away.
You two should just make up. You already got all the best people you know killed.
I'm gonna run up to Amos and quietly so that no one else can hear. But Amos, I know you don't believe in any of the things I do, but you have to trust me when I say that Dolan has been in contact with a supernatural creature at some point in the last 24 hours.
A supernatural creature, a supernatural effect, a supernatural spell? A creature, for sure?
He's got magic on him, which I assume came from another person or source. I meant creature as a broad term. Human, vampire, werewolf, witch, a being. I don't think it was a spell that like he cast, but I just think there's an important part of this puzzle. that has to do with the supernatural. And it's on him. Now, I don't know if it's something in his house that we could go investigate and see that maybe we can close the
Go have a look. I doubt Dolan can stop you. He can't even do a decent job of tying himself up.
I guess I'll try to go into the house then.
You walk right past him. He's not interested in you. He seems to be more inclined to getting on one of those nearby horses and riding off to his friend Marshall Brady.
No.
So I'll start investigating the house.
You find those dead bodies in the house of the people that were shot. There are definitely signs of a struggle at some point in here. Give me a investigation check, please.
That is a hard fail. As a 19.
It looks like it was quite the tussle inside the house before this shootout began to you.
Can I probably just can't roll it again, huh?
Who took you prisoner exactly?
These men, they're all dead now.
Your men.
These aren't my men.
These are your men.
These aren't my men. I don't know these men.
Except for the Pinkertons that we shot over there, these are your men.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody in town knows what you're talking about. They know what your men look like.
A businessman.
Okay, yeah. You know I'm not a cop, right?
I don't know why you're asking me questions, Rockefeller. Your uncle and I are good friends. Would think you'd be wanting to help me get to Sheriff Brady.
And you'd think you would help you get to Sheriff Brady. But
then
you're not doing that.
Let's go there now before I get ambushed by more.
I would do that, but Sheriff Brady tried to murder me this afternoon, and that's bad news for me. So if you try and get on a horse, I'm going to shoot you in the guts.
That's terrible.
I know.
Brady tried to have you killed. You're sure of this?
Well, I think you tried to have me killed. But since you're not man enough to admit it to my face, I'll shoot you in the guts if you go near a horse. How does that sound?
I don't think your uncle would be too pleased with you.
Well, you won't live to tell him about it, so why should I worry?
Oh, I think he's probably right upset that you're down here already.
He may very well be.
You should just go back to your hotel. Maybe go back home, Amos.
The soft sell intimidation tactics of a low-level mob boss. They never get old, no matter what city you're in. You can't threaten me, and you can't buy me, and you can't use my uncle's name against me, because if you think that he's going to be willing to kill me, his own nephew, over you, somebody who's gotten my attention from New York City, then you are sadly mistaken.
Just might be in your own best interest to find something better to do with your time.
You've already failed to kill me twice today. This is doing nothing for you right now. This little warning that you're giving me. Here, let me explain why. Bang! And I shoot him in the guts.
Give me a shooting test. No dodge bonus.
Oh, that's a 4.
You hit him hard right in the guts, and he falls to his knees. Oh, you right, bastard! You shot me.
You threatened me while I was holding a gun on you. What were you thinking?
At this point, you hear some shouting back from the main roadway. The way John Tunstall.
You think that's Brady? Or do you think that's Tunstall?
I think it's both of them.
Oh, well, there we go.
You shot me.
Yeah, in the guts. Like I said I would.
You're gonna
come out of the
this
house.
Rockefeller or not?
No, I'm not. because my uncle can buy me out of this. As long as you're dead by the time we get here. So, do you have any more information for me before those cops show up? I might let them take me if you give me some truth.
What do you want to know?
I want to know as much as you can tell me in 10 seconds. 9.
I didn't have to order you to be killed. That wasn't me orders.
Whose was it?
Probably Brady's. I talked to your uncle. I sent him a telegram. He was gonna handle it, he said. He'd get you out of here, he said. Take care of it.
I see.
Ah. You weren't supposed to be involved, boy.
Well, I am now. Wasn't planning on it. Mary?
Yes?
You know a fast way out of here?
You do have horses.
Well, horses.
We should go.
All right.
You're not
I'm gonna
kill
walk
me.
by. I want to walk by Dolan and blow salt in his face as I run to my horse.
You're not gonna kill me then, lad.
No, I didn't. Wasn't here to kill you. Just that I'd shoot you in the guts.
Right, he's wounded. I'll blow salt in the wound. Obviously.
When your uncle's sick, I'll tell Brady it was one of them that shot me.
That was nice of you, but I want you to remember it was me. Keep your fingers right here or you'll bleed out fast, okay? Really, I nicked your hip bone. You're going to want to pressure right there. Thank you.
The two of you ride away, and as you're leaving the grounds, you can see Brady and several of men of his posse have ridden up. They look like they've got the wounded Tunstall in custody, and they immediately get hold of Dolan and begin riding off towards the nearest doctor's office.
Mystery still unsolved, I'm afraid.
Indeed.
I think we need to do some further investigation in that house.
Yeah, but we're going to have to lay low while we're doing it.
That is a fact. Fortunately for you, I am a master of disguise.
Thank God, I'm terrible at them. Well, let's get back into town, and we're not going back to the hotel.
Oh no. Oh no.
You return back to New Orleans, and we will have to find out the stunning conclusion of this mystery next week, everybody.
Yay!
I hope you like what you saw so far. We'll see what happens when we reach the end next week of this 2-part Bodies of Bourbon Street special in the Weird West. We love you all. It's been Meta Monday. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys!
Bye.
Like the James.
Masters of the Metaverse, masters of the Metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Troll them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the Metaverse, masters of the Metaverse. Masters of the Metaverse, masters of the Metaverse.